Hi folks, this is Franco Tenelli, and today's video I want to dedicate to subjective and objective sensations, knowledge. Let's call objective as mechanical side of singing, meaning what really happens when we sing, what really happens when we sing properly, what really happens when we sing in registers, what really happens when we sing in one register. And then let's look at the sensations, look at how different singers can sense this or feel this or that movement in a totally different way, doing the same thing objectively. I will show you the chart when the objective and subjective kinda intermingles. It has a seemingly common area. So let's look at this scheme. Let's start with voice machines functions as it is. So in this area where the pure science belongs, where the machinery of what we're doing is objectively showing us what exactly we're doing. Are we raising the larynx? Are we lowering it? The feels and sensations are here. Vocal sensations basically equals vocal ear. I explained that vocal ear is a combination of the sensations of a resonance and sensations of the support. It's kind of two types of sensations. So basically it's a personal sensation of the resonance and support, because when we sing we don't feel, but do we authentically know what we feel? And this is also a very gray area. Let's say here there's interpretations. Interpretations can be pseudoscientific. What does it mean, pseudoscientific? Pretending to be scientific, right? Pretending to be scientific, like part of Lululemon's how to sing about the charts and placements of particular notes for tenor, soprano and blah blah blah. This is called pseudoscientific because they pretend to give you scientific knowledge, but they're not. Another example of pseudoscientific is the one video that I showed you with Appoggio in virtual palms. It's also pseudoscientific because you cannot really put real palms there. Based on school. What it means based on school? Well, you go to a certain school, to a certain teacher rather, and he, let's say he's a good teacher and you became pretty good singer. So of course you believe in what the teacher says, but you never checked it out if it's really true. For example, when your teacher taught you and said that when you sing higher notes you should lower your larynx, we know that is not what is supposed to be in one register singing, but he kind of suggests a sensation, right? Not an objective movement, a sensation. And he suggests sensation based on empirical suggestions, meaning that he will propose you to feel a certain way when you do this or that. If you are a successful singer and you got used to your teacher's lexicon, even if it's not scientific, even if what he said have very little to do with science, but because he had a great ear and basically taught you right, you start believing in the system, in a based on school system of values. Never checked it out on yourself. The illusion is so great in this case that you might actually even think that you really feel that way, because after years and years of let's say brainwashing, and probably good brainwashing since you became a great singer, you accepted finally this particular sensation, which psychologically you don't have to necessarily feel exactly the same, but if I tell you feel that way, that's exactly where you have to feel over and over, and yes, plus you become successful, then of course definitely you accept this as a truth. And you may ask a question, oh, what's wrong with that? That means the truth. But the thing is, yes, that means the truth for you personally, absolutely. If you're successful, if you got it, it means your teacher led you right and you're a smart guy and you have a great voice and blah blah blah. This is okay for you as a singer. It's very problematic for you later on as a teacher. And when you try to teach, you will teach even not your personal experience. You will teach a brainwashed, biased theory. That's why we have so many interpretations. There can be many ways of interpret, let's say, one register singing. We know some singers who sing with one registers. There are not that many, but Caruso, for example, they sing with one registers, and we clearly can hear that one register singing. They may interpret it as singing in registers. How come? They learn it this way. They got one register singing, obviously. We hear no division in registers. They may interpret that as a good blend of registers, which is not true, because this is the wrong way to do it. Dissect your voice and then try to get it back together. This is just waste of time and very dangerous. Why try to do that rather than just get it right from the start and develop your voice in one beautiful register supported by a technique called appoggio? So when we look at the interpretation of a singer, I mean the teacher's interpretation how to sing, we already dealing with very serious and difficult problem. Why? Because we don't know if this interpretation of voice and singing is a personal experience and personal knowledge of the person who sings, or this is just a reproduction of a school that produced that singer. You know, if it's a reproduction of the school, if I went to the school and I repeat whatever the school supports, whatever methods they support, and yet objectively I am, let's say I'm an appoggio singer and my voice sounds all like one register beautifully from the bottom to the top, appoggio, chiaro scuro, the ideal blend of the classical voice. And I may believe at the same time in registers. Why is that? Because most of the singers do believe in registers, and very minority singers, elite minority, elite, I remind you, like Pavarotti and Caruso and Lily Lemon and Beniamino Gigli, they do not believe that the register should be in the voice. Some, as I mentioned, for example, Marilyn Horne, for example, she when she was asked about the registers, she kind of, you know, she was raised in this atmosphere of registers, if you like. But then she talks about this, yes, but register, but then you have to unite them anyway. So that means that a person is kind of hesitating about the terminology and about the division. Because we clearly know that register division is also part of the technique, which is called placement techniques. And the most important thing is the ear of our teachers, and our ear also, but the ear of our teacher. If our teacher has great temporal ear, he will hear the differences and he will try to correct it. That's why I said that the most important thing, more than theory, is the ear, because ear deals directly with the material, with the voice. That's what it is all about. And If that microphone is wrong, it doesn't detect small differences in timbral changes, this ear will not able to tell you back. Because if you understand this, I think you will learn a great deal more. So, wrapping up this little program on subjectivity and objectivity, I just want to make another note that you have to understand that the interpretations of a teacher, especially sensations, interpretations, they are sensations, they are vocal sensations. So what I suggest in this case, and this is kind of advice to all teachers, I know how you feel about your voice, I know how you believe that what you achieved, it's absolutely amazing, but please, do not make it universal. Do not tell your student to do it exactly the way you feel, because it's wrong. But I'm not saying don't do it at all. I'm saying that always do it, letting know the student that our sensations are subjective. Subjective. That's it. They are subjective. Don't tell your student, okay, you want to get high C? I sing high C for you. I sing high C. And I say, how do you do it, maestro? Well, I do it, my larynx goes down and I feel that my voice gets vertical. You know, all these kind of things are not bad and all teachers use it. I use this suggestions all the time, so-called empirical suggestions. The only difference that I make is I make that they are relative. They may bring you to the truth, they may not bring you to the truth. So we're trying those things, and whenever it brings the truth, we get it. And that becomes very practical. That's where it's working. Because that student is not confused and it's not square, thinking of just this. He is opening up his mind and his senses and his sensations. Thank you very much. This was Franco Tenelli. Until next time.